All right, everybody, welcome. Wednesday lunch and learn training here at the Real School. We're going to jump right into it. Our lunch sponsor today is Neil Isaacs from VR Business Brokers. Neil, come on up, man.
Good morning, everybody. Afternoon. I don't know, we're somewhere between morning and afternoon. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be back. I'm a business broker. I'm a real estate broker, but I'm not focused on selling real estate, focused on selling businesses. Who has met a business broker before? Show of hands. Some of you, okay. So basically, I do what you guys do, except instead of selling the house, we sell the business. And the fundamental difference is we get a hot listing and we tell our buyers, can't tell you where it is. Imagine if you got your best listing ever, you couldn't tell anybody where it was. Makes it really hard. Business brokerage is confidential. So the owners don't want their employees, their customers, their landlord, they don't want anybody to know. They just want to get the deal done. And my story started blocks from here. I ran a retail business at 4042, 03 to 08. I sold Nemo Dory. And I just got burnt out on my business and I wanted to get out. And Joe Samples was my landlord. And I asked the customer, like, how do you sell a business? What do you think I can get for this? That is the wrong way to sell. So I muddled through it. I sold that business in 08. And then I got a bunch of degrees. You're welcome to take the research on your desk there. There's an alphabet soup of certifications that I have. But I'm here to tell you that unlike real estate, business brokerage is not under the purview of the real estate commission. So you can sell somebody's business today. Are you ready to sell someone's business? Because you, as real estate agents, you will uncover these opportunities. People are going to say, hey, I just need to sell my house and my business, and then I'm going to go travel the world in a camper. And you're going to ask yourself, like, can I do this? And my answer is there's nothing stopping you from selling a business licensure-wise in this market. Another market that's tied to real estate, it's license. But in North Carolina, you can sell someone's business. Do you have, should it be your business to sell someone's business? That's a question you'll have to decide. But you definitely want to know how to read financial statements, recast financial statements to determine the accrued benefit, run the comps, so figure out what other businesses have sold for, and then line up the financing, which is totally different than real estate financing, and find a buyer and get it closed. And real estate attorneys typically don't close the business deal. So if you don't want to do all of that, then calling an intermediary such as myself is a great solution. And we pay referral fee. So that's who I am. I'm Neil Isaacs. I own VR Business Brokers. VR is a franchise. If you think of a Remax or Keller Williams, or I'm trying to think of brands in your world. EXP, yeah. Well, EXP isn't a franchise, similar but different. It's a brand essentially. So, you know, we have other VRs in other markets if we're not close enough. But we would love to pay you a referral fee and take that business owner from I want to get out of here to I've sold my business and pay your referral fee. One interesting fact is we don't represent buyers. That's another fundamental difference. I mentioned the confidentiality. The other piece is, as far as agency goes, we only represent sellers. So if you refer me a buyer, I'm going to say, here's some businesses that we currently have listed. I encourage you to buy one. But we can't go shopping for business buyers. And that's an interesting aspect of business brokers, which is not a developed buy-side broker market in business brokerage the way that there is in real estate.
And that's open to any type of business, like an antique shop.
Yeah.
They want to sell their whole antique shop.
If they make money and they're somewhere near us in the triangle, on the back of this, you'll see a bunch of businesses that we sold. You'll see we're constrained to an industry or a size. Even a location. We've sold businesses in Virginia. Yes, if an antique shop if they own that business and they make money, there's a high probability we can help them with their options directly.
When
Yes.
you say make money, like what is the minimum amount that you guys will deal with and
Yeah.
consider it a business you can actually sell?
Great question. How much is enough? Interesting fact is business owners don't always know how much they make in earnings. But revenues, we're looking for like $1 million in revenues, but we've sold small. That's it. When I say if they're making money, most owners will know if they're like about to close the doors. And it's an unfortunate situation, and oftentimes we can't help them. People don't want to pay money to buy something that's losing money. And that's another difference with real estate. Real estate always has some type of tangible value. Like even if it's a broken, busted house, like someone's gonna flip it, someone's gonna fix it. But with businesses, I mean, it can go upside down and there could be zero tangible value. It could be worth less than the trucks and whatever, if they even have any. So there's a lot of differences between business and real estate. This is exactly where I wanted to go with this, is just open questions. Has anybody seen an opportunity like this? Anybody, have got into situations where like, how does this work? Who's residential versus commercial here? Mainly residential?
Well, we can do it all.
You can do it all, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that there's a lot of confusion about commercial real estate and business brokerage. In that, if you're selling a strip center, that's clearly a commercial real estate deal. But if you're selling, the business owners that are in that strip center, that's clearly a business deal. But if it's mobile home park or a storage unit, that's a business and it's real estate. So there's this weird blend where people don't know if you need a business broker or a commercial real estate.
Right, like my family has retirement homes.
Yeah.
Like luxury retirement homes, so they don't have lots of residents.
Yeah.
There's probably like the biggest one that's like 10.
Yeah.
But my has one, my aunt has one, my other aunt has one.
Yeah.
So my other aunt just sold her book of business.
Book of it, yeah.
That she's created for herself.
Yeah.
And she sold it to her partner.
Yeah.
Or somebody who had been helping her in running the whole business basically for her. She ended up giving it over to her, but this wasn't even something that was on my radar. Like thinking about leveraging your business in a way that, I mean, obviously profit should be at the forefront of all of our mind here, but.
You raise a valid point in that some people have a business for sale and they've got a buyer internally or a family member. They probably don't need a business broker.
Well, I didn't even know that she was going to sell it, but had she maybe thought that she would have had other buyers potentially.
Yes.
And that the potential for her to net more could have exponentially been greater. She has no idea where she's at right now because she sold it to her friend. You know what I mean?
That was my situation when I had the 4042 Plaza store. Didn't know business brokers existed. Customer wanted to buy it. And I had to make a decision, like what they're offering me, is that the right price? Could I do better? Obviously this person wants it. So it's a weird it's a red-headed stepchild of real estate. People don't know what business brokers do. But we are out there and working in the stealth of darkness. I remember I had a business broker came up, he came after hours, and he was like, we're gonna get this done. Nobody's gonna know until it's done. And that's when today, when we sell a business, we tell the employees the day after the deal, hey, you got a new ball. Yeah, it's stealthy, it's weird, it's totally different than real estate. But it's pretty exciting. And it's extremely important. That's one of the reasons I do what I do, is if you look at the second one down, residential plumbing contractor for a couple million. I mean, this is a retiring boomer. I've been told the term boomer is not a pejorative term. It sounds weird to call people boomers, but boomers need to retire from small business, and it's the last thing they're going to sell. When I sold my tropical fish store, I was like on to the next thing, and I've had multiple businesses since then. So it was important, but when you sell someone's business and they're going to stop making money and they provided for their family and they need this consideration to fuel their retirement, like this stuff is extremely important. So I take it very seriously, and we love serving business owners in their sale of their business. And then we also do valuation. So if you just hear someone say, if you want to sell it, it depends how much it's worth. That's something we can help as well. I think I want to turn it back to Keith. And I want to thank you for your time. The stuff on the table, keep it if you want. If you don't want it, I'll collect it. I'm going to hang out and learn while we're here.
Oh, excellent.
Thank you, everybody. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Neil.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys grab some pizza too. We bought some pizza today, so we got that for lunch. Now for the main event, Miss Jennifer Franklin Brothers. Come
All
on
right,
up.
guys, are you ready to start moving, grooving? The only thing we're missing today is a disco ball. Let's see, come on now. Oh.
Like it.
Thank you. Yes, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Our baseline. Yeah. Now, I don't know how to.
Just pause it if you hit.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to get y'all live. All right.
Just click on play again. Oh no!
Where is the other end?
There
Okay.
it is. All right.
Okay. So yes, I am doing a presentation on C2EX today, but being an RPAC trustee, I just wanted to take us about 10 minutes or so to talk about some RPAC stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to watch a really fun video to show you what RPAC has done for you in 2020.
What is Realtor Nation? It's DJCA, and in case you're wondering, the A stands for all. Looky now. I'm here to give you the skin about realtors. That's right. I'm playing their top 3 groovy legislative hits of 2024. Coming in at number 3, that funky jam with the long title. Be a solid man. Increase my bond limit. You know the NC Housing Finance Agency is off the hook. That is why Cool Cat KDT helped pass House Bill 228, which increased their bond debt from $3 billion to a funky $12 billion. $12 billion, that's primo, man. Now I'm about to catch you on the flip side. That's right, 2 hits on 1 record. That's giving me some good vibes with our number 2 hit. Will you be my backflip preventer? This ain't no job talking. It's far out, dude. I mean, who needs to install backflow preventers on existing connections unless it's a hazard? You dig? That's why KDT and the Funky Bunch loving team fought to pass Senate Bill 166. Speaking of Cool Cat KDT, I hear she's feeling the funk this year. Maybe you should be dancing. What you 20, Cool Cat?
She's our NC lobbyist.
Girl,
Okay.
you bad
One
one
is
and queen.
legislative
Keep on
law.
trucking, girl, because we got one more get to go. Yeah. That's how I feel about our number 1 hit. Need some regulatory reforms. Anybody copying out there? Y'all know how groovy I think the coast is, and that's why Senate Bill 607 is far out, man. It allows rebuilding of all those queues and dams without even getting a new dam camera permit. Speaking of regulation, I hear Pam will survive nothing had a heated confab about this. Looks like she just told somebody to stop dipping in the realtor Kool-Aid, y'all. My funky realtor friends, I think y'all copacetic and sound as a town about this song. Guess we could all use some regulatory reform. Okay, listeners, I got a skitty, but let's hear it for the groovy realtors. Y'all some bad mothers. So now. Till next time, peace, love, and granola, man. Catch you on the flip side.
All right, guys. So that is a little bit of what RPAC has been doing for you in 2024. And I hope y'all enjoyed that fun video. Just trying to make it a little bit more interesting for you. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about RPAC. I gave everyone should have an information sheet. This is just for you to refer back to and show you what RPAC has done and is doing for you. So I'm not going to go through every single slide because that would take too long. So why do we have RPAC to begin with? First of all, is there anybody that is not familiar with what RPAC is? There may be a few of you in the room. So every industry out there has a PAC. PAC stands for Political Action Committee. And these industries, I'm getting hooked on myself here. These industries are the ones that they're going in front of legislators, congressmen, senators, and they're saying, hey, we want you to do work for our industry. Well, guess what? Realtors has one too, and it's called RPAC. So what are the things that we are trying to get senators and congressmen to do? Well, we want them to stop legislation that would increase our taxes, okay? Did you know that they have, in the past, tried to have specific taxes just for realtors' commissions? That's what your money is going to. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. They want to prevent new burdensome regulations on your business, okay? Making sure the real estate industry in North Carolina stays strong, protecting private property rights. That's so important for your clients. So an example of that would be, are your clients allowed to build an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit, on their yard? Some municipalities will not let you do it. Can we put legislation in the state that would allow, that would override what these municipalities say? Preserve the American dream of home ownership. Y'all, there are forces out there that don't want people to own homes, not going to go down that road, but it's out there, okay? And that is why we have our RPAC team fighting. Okay, so moving along, some other wins that the Disco DJ did not cover. But your privilege license tax got repealed. We used to have to pay $50 every year for that. You no longer have to do that. And one of our very own local senators, Benton Sawry, was one of the major players who started that. He gets some RPAC funding when that time comes. We were deemed essential during COVID. As you know, not all states could practice real estate. If I couldn't practice real estate, I would have zero income, okay? So that was super important, not just for me, but for a lot of people who support their families in this industry. We fought transfer taxes. You know that excise tax that's always listed on the ALTA statement, that the state gets a portion of the sales? Well, did you know that counties and municipalities were trying to have their own excise tax? Yes, they were. We fought against that and said, no, the state one is enough. And then, like I talked about, an 8.5% tax on real estate services and commissions. That was back in 2013. I know that sounds like a long time ago, but it can still affect us. Okay, so moving on. I told you what a political action committee is, and I think you get the gist of what North Carolina realtors do. So you may wonder, well, why are you wearing a purple sequin jacket? Well, we know the sequin is because RPAC is staying alive in 25. So these are our little props this year. But we do not give money to candidates based on what political party they are in. We give them money based on their stance on private property rights and how realtors are treated. So we're not red, we're not blue. What do those colors make? They make purple. And that's where you get the realtor party. Okay, real quick, where does your money go to? So 94% of the candidates that we funded last year in 2024 won their races. So that makes you feel good about the money you're giving to RPAC. And then 92% of the ones that are funded on the national level won. And I keep getting hooked. And what do I do? There are 28 trustees from North Carolina across the state, and we make funding decisions at the state level. So last August, we were in a room in Greensboro, and all of the candidates who were running for state senator, state House of Representatives are presented to us, and we decide based on the money that's given to the whole state for North Carolina, that's Johnson County included, how much money these candidates get. If a candidate is, we know we really need them to win their race, it's a competitive race. And in the past, they had taken meetings with their lobbyists. You saw Katie dancing. If they've taken meetings with our lobbyists, we look at their past voting record on some of these issues. How did they vote? They're the ones that are going to get a large amount of money. Okay. And I will say that we are very, very blessed in Johnston County. We've got Representative Donna White and Representative Howard Penny here in the North Carolina House. They both are wonderful to realtors, and so is Senator Benton Sawry. They see our plight, they vote on issues that agree with us, and they're very interested making sure that people have property rights. Our saying is, if you don't have a seat at the table, you are going to be on the menu.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes. So that's why, we want you guys to be involved. And you may be sitting here thinking to yourself, well, I am so busy with my transactions. I mean, that's why I'm a realtor. I don't have time to pay attention to this stuff. You guys, Real Estate Commission does not make your rules for how you can be treated as business owners. It is legislation. So you better be involved. You need to know what's going on because it is affecting your everyday business. Okay. So where does your money go to? For every $100 you give, 30% goes to the federal level and 70% is kept in the state. And then from the state, based on like how much we raise locally, like for those of you that came to trivia night, some of that money stays in our local candidate funding as well. This is how the state is divided up. So I'm a trustee for Region 4. We are the blue section right here. So I travel to different associations within the blue and give the same little spiel. All right, we're not going to get into the weeds with that, but what I want everybody to do is take out your phone and I want you to scan that QR code. That way you can follow us on Instagram and see all of the cool stuff that we are doing. So I'll give y'all a second.
Are they gonna call me? I'm just kidding, kind of.
I'll put in a plug for you, Ashley.
Okay.
Okay. So how can you give to the PAC? If you came to the trivia night last week, you paid your $45, then you gave $45 to the PAC. I have a challenge for each of you. We've got another trivia night coming up. Not another trivia night, sorry. We have another raffle ticket. The North Carolina's Realtors is sponsoring a raffle, and I will have that. I always post everything. I tape it up on the cabinets over the workroom. I want to challenge you to every time you have a closing during that raffle, what if you just gave $25 to our PAC? And it would increase and increase and increase a little bit over time. I'm also going to put in a plug for if you give at least $100, it's probably how we'll do the invite. But we are going to have a major investor step up event. And if you like my groovy 70s clothes here, it's going to be a disco themed murder mystery night coming up later on this year. We'd love to have all of you there. Okay. We did a 1920s theme one last year and it was a lot of fun. So come see me. I'll let you know how you can invest. On the table, you have received one of these. So if you are wondering, well, how do I give anything to our PAC this year? Scan this QR code. One of the things that you do need to know when you invest is you need to know your NERDS number. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but just know that. Now, I'm going to leave you with one other RPAC video that I just think is very funny. Do any of you know who John McBride is? He's a realtor out of Raleigh. He looks like he could be in the Marvel movies. He's very, very built. So you'll see what I'm talking about.
Before I invested in RMAC, I was no memory. But when I decided to invest in RMAC, well, nah.
So see what can happen to you if you invest in our packs. It's amazing. All right, we are going to switch gears a little bit and we are going to move on to C2X, what you all mostly came for. So hang on a second. I'm not the technical guru, but I try. Show. Okay, there we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is Keith, if you will help me out, just pass these around. It's a little bit of information on RPAC, and I forgot, I want to show you a video first. Or excuse me, C2EX. Okay, so what is C2EX? We are going to talk about all of these things. C2EX stands for Commitment to Excellence. So it's not a designation, like you've heard of accredited buyer representative, or CPIS, Certified International Provider. It's not a designation like that. It is an endorsement by NAR. Okay, so this means that you can tell your clients NAR has endorsed me as a realtor because I have gone through the proper learning and education to be a professional C2EX. So what is this about? And I apologize right now, I can't make this video bigger. For some reason, when I try to download it on Vimeo, it tells me that I'm unauthorized. So just really watch it, it's good.
C2EX is celebrating 5 years of Realtors' commitment to excellence.
The C2EX program, it really sets you above the crowd. It makes you stand out as only 1% of members that are endorsed by NAR.
You have the ability to tell your clients, I'm endorsed by the National Association of REALTORS for my ethics, for my commitment to being excellent, and my professionalism.
C2EX is one of those programs that will help our members to see their value. As they work through it and they complete it and get their endorsement, they'll know I am more professional and I can go out and share that with my clients.
We're going to be implementing the financial wellness aspect of the platform. So it'll help people with personal finances, all sorts of stuff to help give you that financial security that we really need.
I'm excited about C2EX because it will include an app. I think it is going to help new agents keep moving through the program. Take the challenge and get endorsed today.
All right. Very good. Okay, let me switch on back down to the PowerPoint. Start. Okay. How many of you have heard of C2EX before? Anybody? Very good. Where did you first hear about it, Keith?
From you. Yes.
Cool. Oh, well, here is because I am a C2EX ambassador for the National Association for NAR. So therefore I come around and do these types of presentations around here. So I first heard about C2EX when I was at an NAR conference in California a few years ago. And I saw all these, big wigs that you see at these conferences, and on their badge, they had C2EX. And I was like, well, what is that? If they have to have it, I have to have it too. So that is how I started learning about the C2EX, the Commitment to Excellence endorsement. I hope that we are all huge on education as realtors. We can never quit learning. That every single transaction is different. We get a lot of real life learning. However, adding more professionalism never hurts anything, because I'm sure we have all worked with a realtor or two, maybe in the past, where you're like, geez, did they just not even just get their license yesterday, but like they're just not professional at all. And I think that this just adds another level to it. So again, I'm Jennifer Franklin Rose, C2EX ambassador. Like I said, C2EX stands for Realtors Commitment to Excellence.
Unlock your full potential with the C2EX app. Now you can access C2EX and NAR's innovative professional endorsement program as a mobile app anywhere, anytime, along with a digital coach who assists and motivates you on your endorsement journey. With the flexibility to create a development plan tailored to your schedule, you gain access to handy, concise content that fits seamlessly into your day-to-day tasks. The comprehensive C2EX program, developed by real estate experts, takes your performance to the next level as you explore key competencies such as client service, the code of ethics, fair housing, and more. The C2EX program's digital coach helps you prioritize topics best suited to your individual growth. Throughout your journey, your digital coach offers ongoing guidance, tips, and point-of-need support. Plus, the C2EX app guides you to real-life experiences that provide vital opportunities to apply your expertise in the real world. It's time to enhance your skills and display your commitment to excellence. Start earning your endorsement today.
Okay, so that's a little video again about C2EX. So let's talk about what are the things that you will learn as you go through your C2EX endorsement. First of all, we're going to talk about this a little bit more, but it is app-based, and you're going to have a virtual coach that helps you along the way. And based on your answers, your interaction with this virtual coach, it's going to decide what you need more of. So these are all of the different competencies that it will take you through. So these are new. These were not here when I first got my C2EX endorsement, but our client service, how are we interacting with clients? New buyers representation content, our own financial wellness. What do we understand about our own finances, retirement, things of that nature? It's going to cover fair housing, advocacy, professional representation, which we just talked about, trust and integrity, areas of practice. You know, Neil asked us earlier, do we do residential? Do we do commercial? What are our main areas of practice? Technology, real estate law, data privacy, code of ethics, and a broker. And I've got a fun little fact about the code of ethics here in a few minutes. Okay, so right now, you know, there's over 1 million realtors that are associated with NAR. 34,000 of us have downloaded the C2EX app. 18,000, a little over 18,000 of us are actually endorsed. And then out of the nation, only 45 offices have an endorsement of an office. Now with a place like here, EXP, it's going to be a little bit harder just because like it's not just our brick and mortar, which could be one of the reasons why, you know, that number is smaller. But that's here today to spread the word, to tell you about to tell you about getting your C2EX endorsement. You see this little word right here, code of ethics equivalency. Guess what? When you get your C2EX endorsement, you don't have to go through the code of ethics class anymore. I think that's pretty exciting. No offense, Keith, because I know that you love teaching, but hey, it's less time to spend in front, to be sitting in a classroom. And it's a one-of-a-kind credential. It's not a designation. It is an endorsement. And we're going to take a look at what that looks like here in a second. I am not going to play this video because it's
The National
and boring. And then we're going to go through what it says. Okay. And I'm going to have a time for questions at the end. See, your C2EX, you can only get it on the app right now. We're in a situation where we only have it on the app. Hopefully later on you will be able to do it on your laptop. But for right now, you will just access it via the app. Now, the great thing about that is with this, you can do it at your own pace. So like you can access the app while you're sitting at a doctor's appointment, you know, waiting to be called back. So you can do it sitting, well, I don't want to say sitting at a stoplight, but let's say you're in a traffic jam and you're just sitting there. You could be working on your C2EX. Yeah, don't do it at a stoplight because inevitably people be honking at you when it turns green. Okay, you get a virtual coach, like I said, who's going to help you every step of the way, see what you know about these different competencies, and then deciding, okay, this is the education that you need to read. This is, you know, what we want to teach you. And then we're going to have you do this activity in order to make sure you've got that competency down pat. The app gives you a very clear timeline. So you can do this as fast or as slow as you want to. It doesn't say you have to have this done within 3 months. I'm watching the dog, make sure he doesn't eat pizza. Mine used to love it. You can say, I want to get this done in a month. I want to get it done in a year. You tell the app what your timeline is. You know, I want to work on it 20 minutes a day, and it will set up a schedule for you. Now, if you're feeling good one day and you want to move ahead, that is totally fine. If you skip a day, the app will send you a reminder. Okay. Better learning content and real life experiences. Okay, this part is fun. So, yes, you have great content on the app as you're going through the competencies and you're learning, but some of what you will do is real life experiences. So when I did my C2EX endorsement, like I said, I'd gone to NAR conference in November. I got through Christmas and I was like in January, okay, I'm going to get this thing done. Now that was also like kind of after COVID, where everything was not completely up and running. So I was home in the evenings, probably a little bit more than I normally would be, but I would just sit on my couch and I would be working on my endorsement. And the only thing that took me a little while was one of these real life experiences. I had to go to, I had to go to a city council meeting or a planning meeting. So that will be one of the things that it asks you to do. Now, a lot of these are via Zoom now. So for instance, you can watch our lovely April Stevens on Zoom, and you can watch them have a county commissioners meeting, and that will count as one of your real life experiences. They are trying to get you involved to see that real estate is more than just the transaction that is in front of you. One of the other things that they may have you do, and Keith, I'm going to ask you to help me out and pass these out. We just talked, or I just talked about RPAC a lot, right? So what do we do with these legislators? So yes, we give them money, but we also visit them. And some of that is done on our legislation day, which is next Wednesday. I would invite all of you to come with us. We're going to meet up at the state capitol. The capitol will be filled with realtors from all over the state. And we go to each of our representatives' offices and we just introduce ourselves. We talk about the topics that are important to us, and it just gives our senators and our congressmen a chance to hear from us. So I have a meeting set up with Representative Howard Penny next week at 9 a.m. Would love for some of y'all to come with me. Penny represents like the eastern portion of Johnson County and a lot of Harnett County. We've got a meeting set up with Representative Donna White, which is also at 9, so I can't unfortunately get to both of them. Donna covers a lot of Clayton, and then we'll probably be meeting with Larry Strickland as well. He covers more of Smithfield. We will meet with Senator Benton Salry, who covers a lot of Johnson County. So we're really focusing in on our local representatives. But that is one of the real life experiences that the system is going to ask you to do, is go to legislative days. So why not take advantage of it when you know people who are going to be down there? We have a big legislative rally that gets you pumped up and ready to go. And you may say to me, well, Jennifer, I hate politics. I hate stuff like that. It's so confrontational. And it can be. But luckily with realtors, we're not dealing with, crazy social issues that are really hot button topics. Not that these aren't, but I would say I used to be one of those people, like if you had told me I would be doing this 20 years ago, I would have said, no way. Like, I don't even watch the news, right? But this has been totally different. So that's a plug for legislative days, and it will count towards your C2EX. On the app, you can earn points. The points don't really do anything specifically with NAR or the app itself. It's just like, say April's team wanted to have, or Wendy's team wanted to have a competition to see who could earn their C2EX first. You can start keeping track of your points, and y'all could award like little awards for getting a certain amount of points and so forth. And then when you finish up, you will get your endorsement via email, and you will be able to start putting your C2EX logo on your emails and your social media, what have you. You will have all of that. So real quick, let me show you an example. All right, pretend that there is somebody out there and they say, you know what, I need a realtor. So I'm going to go to realtor.com and I'm going to find a local realtor. Okay. And they pull up realtors in Clayton, and Jennifer comes up. Okay. Oh, wait, hang on. See these little boxes right here? So this one means that I have my ABR, accredited buyers representative. That's another competency that you will do. You'll get a designation. If you already have a designation, then you won't need to get another one. This says I've got my At Home with Diversity certification. And then this tells them that I am endorsed by C2 or by NAR with the C2EX endorsement. Now, these accredited buyers representatives and At Home with Diversity, guess when I got those? When I was going through to get my C2EX. So let's go back here to the PowerPoint. I don't want to play. Okay, so my phone current slide. Oh, I'm so smart. Okay. Let's skip this because none of us are the brokers in here. So let's cover some of these FAQs. Does it cost anything? Most of the time when you earn a designation, there is some sort of fee involved, but NAR includes the C2EX endorsement as part of your dues. So when you pay, it's like $560, I think, a year, and that covers your national North Carolina and JCAR dues or RAR, whoever you're a member of. The endorsement itself does not cost anything more other than what you already paid for with your dues. However, when you're going through your competencies and it says that you need to earn a designation, which could be like ABR, accredited buyer representative, or CIPS, or divorce specialist, whatever it is, that may cost you money because some of the classes that you may have to take for it will cost you. But guess what? Some of those classes count as your CE elective.
When I took an ABR class for
Mhm.
transportation, but I didn't, I'm now thinking, like, I wonder if that counts.
It would.
It was like at least 4 hours.
Yes. So the nice thing about this is when you're taking your classes for the designation and it counts as your CE class. So when I did my C2EX, I did the ABR designation and I did the at home with diversity certification because that meets the fair housing requirement. So I had enough CE electives to last me for like 2 years. So 2 years I only had to take gen up because I had taken so much with this. So that's another added advantage. So to the next question, do you receive CE credit? Yes, you can. Now, if you already have a designation and you don't need to get another one, then, you know, you may not necessarily get that CE credit, but especially if you're first doing it, you will. Do you need to complete a CE assessment? Your coach, that virtual coach will walk you through that. Does it fulfill the COE Code of Ethics requirement? We talked about that. Yes, it does. So you no longer have to sit through the COE class. And every 3 years, your endorsement will get renewed. So they send you an email about 90 days ahead of time. And the only thing you have to do for that endorsement is you just kind of go through with your coach again and they just see, you know, if there's any areas that you need to get up to speed. So for instance, when I do my renewal, I'll have to do the financial wellness and the buyer's representation. That's on there because it wasn't part of it last time I did it. So we talked about, do you need to get a certificate of designation? Yes, you will if you don't have one already. We've got the new fair housing requirement and it can fulfill that fair housing requirement because you're going to be taking the Fairhaven simulation. Has anybody taken the Fairhaven simulation? Keith, have you done that? It's really interesting. It has to do with fair housing, of course. And y'all, there are things that we do on a daily basis with our clients that we don't even think about being part of fair housing. And then when you take that simulation, you're like, whoa, I didn't even realize, you know, that had anything to do with it. So that will be a part of it. Can I still access this program on a desktop? Not right now. If you ever started this a long time ago from your desktop, it did save that information. So if you pick it back up in the app, it will pick up where you left off. And then you get your endorsement materials online. And I talked about you'll get a renewal notice 90 days before your endorsement ends. This talks about that more. Renewals are every 3 years. There's always new and updated content. Okay, what questions do you guys have for me? Anything? Who in here, does anybody have a designation? Okay, very good. Perfect. So you could just check that off the list. Why do you think it's a good idea to have designations? Anybody?
I was trying to do the relocation specialist, so that's where I wanted that.
Okay.
And I think I needed that. I think it wouldn't let me just choose one. I think I had to do the ABR too. I mean,
I don't know specifically the rules on that, but yeah, maybe it makes you do the ABR first.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, I know, and it may still be this way, but NAR was offering the ABR for free during this time, so that was a perfect designation. Okay, very good. Ashley, what were you gonna say?
With the senior real estate, senior citizen.
I think that's one, yes, there's a bunch.
I really have wanted to do that.
Well, you could do it and make it part of this. And going back to what I showed you on realtor.com, if somebody's looking up, say somebody's like, well, you know, I don't know if I should hire Jennifer or if I should hire Linda Smith. So they pull up both of us on realtor.com. Well, when you've got your little icons, that's probably going to say something. Not only that, but you can put it on your business cards and your emails. Yes,
Jennifer, so I'm curious, I always kind of come at it, and by the way, I'm completely pro endorsements and
Mhm.
designations, so don't take what I'm about to say as not. But I'm just curious, does like Joe Homebuyer or Sally Seller, do they get it? Do they understand what designations are and how it benefits them? What's in it for them? And I think that from my perspective, agents typically do a great job of securing those designations and maybe parlay those into like niches. So if you're a senior, specialist or relocation or ABR, whatever those are, I think there's tremendous value practically in that. But I think that sometimes maybe we don't take advantage of the opportunity to communicate what really is of value, why that designation is of value to the consumer.
I think you're right. And I think that it's up to us to pat our own back, so to speak. So when you're on that listing presentation or you're meeting with that buyer and pretend that somebody's interviewing, 2 other people to work with them to purchase a home. When you say, well, I do have my ABR accredited buyer representative certification, that may give you an edge over the other people that maybe they have it, but they didn't say it, or they just don't have it at all. Because the next question could be to the second person interview, well, do you have your ADR? I heard that somebody mentioned that. You just never know what people are gonna say. And same thing on the listing side. I think the more credentials that you can show, I think it makes our clients feel better. But in general, do people out there know about all these designations we can get? No, they don't, but it's up to us to educate them and sell ourselves with it.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of educating the public
Mhm.
and it's kind of like a shiny, flashy, shiny thing, but it does. Kind of solidify your professionalism and stuff that you've gone to get these designations as a real estate agent. But what it takes is you actually telling that story to your clients.
Mhm.
I mean, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, every time I'm in a presentation, I tell them I'm a certified instructor with the real estate commission. Just because I feel that makes me
Yeah.
a little more,
Absolutely.
adds a little more credential to myself. So I would, anytime that you can put anything out there, the public may not know what exactly it means, but the more that you can talk yourself up and saying you have these designations, anybody from the corporate world is gonna understand.
Yeah.
Even though they don't understand the specific designations, they're gonna understand.
Well, I think it shows that we take our profession seriously, and we're not just Joe Schmo off the street. Yeah, I got my license and I sold my uncle's house and I sell, my friend's house like 2 or 3 a year. They want somebody who they feel like knows what they're doing, and I feel like when we get this education behind us, it shows that we took it seriously. So, anything else before we adjourn?
This is just a tip, because I really like what Keith said,
Mhm.
is telling that story of, what it means for the consumer. If
Yes.
you've gone through this additional layer of learning, I think that maybe hit like Grok or ChatGPT or, Gemini and say, help me develop a plan, how to tell my story of why this is important to the
Good.
consumer. And so then you can have and tell it to like create social post, or if you have a blog, write a blog article, begin to put the message out there, because without that messaging, there's a disconnect. Nobody will ever know your story. And there's just too many agents out there that just do the bare minimum in terms of education and that sort of thing. So it gives you that leg up to really shine. It says, these little designations and endorsements actually mean something to you. Here's why I did it for you.
That's
And so
great.
telling that story and then getting those ideas from AI to help you equip to tell that story, and let it do all the content generation. It'll create, and just say, hey, do it at LinkedIn. And because it's going to be a different message there.
Yeah.
Like LinkedIn versus Facebook.
And two, like when you're doing these real life experiences, so whether you say go to a town council meeting in Clayton or Smithfield, or you poke your head in at the planning board meetings in Joco or commissioners meeting, the next time that you're meeting with buyers, you can say, well, yes, I was at the town council meeting last month, and they were talking about the new subdivision that's coming up. And it just gives you that edge. Same thing with, legislative days. Well, you know what? When doing your presentation, we actually met, with Representative Penny and brought to him our concerns about the number of housing that you don't feel is affordable. And in the Senate, when we met with them, they're talking about doing X, Y, Z. It just makes you look more professional. It really does, because you know what's going on. So take advantage of the tools that you are given by NAR, because they give us a lot of good stuff, and just do what you can with it. So that is what I have to say. Thank you, Keith. And thank you all for coming out today. I really appreciate it. So
Thank you, Jennifer.